G'day world, Chris Hogan and Andrew Grote coming to you live from Mimity Studio here at Burleigh Heads for episode 88 of Get Fact Up. And today we're talking about CRM, sales and marketing automation software that maybe you haven't heard of, and maybe, just maybe, you haven't ever tried this form of marketing or boosting your sales. So let's kick it off, Andrew. I'm here with Andrew Grote in case you didn't know. Cool.
Usual suspects.
So I guess one of the things we talk about in-house is that, you know, a lot of people have tried all sorts of marketing tactics, especially in the digital world now. You know, they've tried their Facebook advertising, they've tried their Google advertising, they've maybe even tried their LinkedIn marketing and possibly also YouTube discovery ads and whatnot. And what we're seeing is that this is all well and good because this is all well and good to do that, except all of your customers are kind of being kept at arm's reach until they become a customer, right? And it's important to, I guess, have a system in place that maybe once you've done all of this marketing and they become a customer, you know how they actually became a customer, and then be able to deliver them personalized sort of messaging on site and in emails and communication going forward. And we've seen plenty of tools around for years now that they've been able to do that, haven't we? So some of them being, you know, Infusionsoft is one.
Salesforce.
Yep, that's a big one.
Although
a lot of people
it doesn't do too much on its own. It's mostly a CRM.
Yeah, lots of plugins and always seems to be considered a tool for the higher end of town, except that, you know, it's not the only one that can be used for the higher end of town. And so what else we got?
So that's the thing. You're either using something that's sort of like enterprise level that claims to do everything and can be quite a lot of work and need quite a lot of know-how to actually get going, or you're using all these smaller tools that only do just one little job and things like that, and everyone's sort of been patching things together like MailChimp just for email marketing, and then something else for this and something else for this. But we're now seeing like a lot more of these small business focused marketing automation suites, and the big one that's always being spoken about now is ActiveCampaign, or, you know, the hot topic, I suppose, is ActiveCampaign.
Let's not pigeonhole it just for small businesses, though. This is,
oh no,
you know, this is absolutely doable for every size business.
By that I mean it's accessible by small businesses, and it does the full suite of tools. So it's definitely making waves, and from my experience with it, it's great. Like, it just does everything it says it will. It does it simple. It does it effectively. It does it cheap.
Yeah, in comparison to, if you compare it to other products like Infusionsoft and Salesforce that offer similar capabilities, then absolutely the pricing is good, and features and usability is actually up there compared to those others too. Building out your automation campaigns is, you know, very user friendly. So I guess it's important just to take a back step, and anybody that hasn't considered this, then they need to understand what it actually means.
Yeah. So when you're doing marketing, everyone knows the more relevant you can deliver your marketing and the more consistent your message is, and the more in line with people's interests it is, the better it's going to be. And it's not always just that easy to just take a wild guess and deliver the right ads and things like that. You need to start having tools that can help funnel people and whittle people down into different segmentation. And this is when something like ActiveCampaign will come in, where you start quite general, and depending on people's actions they take or their interactions with certain marketing, they'll be put in different categorizations, and then they start seeing different marketing based on that, which is called automated sequencing. And that can be emails, that can be SMSs, that can be your website content being changed to be more relevant to what you know about that person. They might start seeing different Facebook ads and AdWords ads and things like that. So that's where ActiveCampaign. It's really the cornerstone of ActiveCampaign, in my opinion, is their automated sequencing, and you can basically just draw it out, almost like a
flowchart,
a wireframe flowchart.
Yeah.
You can see all your different nodes. So you can see if they click on this link in this email and tag them this. If they're tagged this, then they get this message on the website. If not, they get this message. Or it's really cool the way it all works. So it just allows you to get a much better understanding of all the behavioral sort of data of your customers, potential customers and actual customers.
Yeah. I really love it. So, for example, you may not know if somebody's male or female coming into your website. And that just to start with, of course, you've got your different navigations. You can see where you're getting a lot of traffic. You can see the traffic, but individually you don't know if they're male or female. Even names can be, ambiguous, for example, Chris. So it's a great way to then be able to say, okay, this person has come in, they're navigating through the site, and I don't know much about them, except I am tracking it. I'm tracking all of this activity, and then boom, they make a sale, and all of a sudden that file in the CRM system actually goes, for the last 60 days.
Yeah, we've seen everything that they've done on the website, on the Facebook page. If they came through AdWords, we've seen their AdWords activities and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
Not necessarily everything. That's a bit creepy. Not necessarily everything they've done, but just being able to attribute some of their
everything trackable.
Trackable.
That they've interacted with. Basically.
Yeah, it's not like breaching any privacy laws. Let's just say that. So for example, they may have been on your Facebook profile and clicked a link from your Facebook profile. Then they may have been on your Instagram profile and clicked that. So you can find out essentially how long they've been, I guess, stalking you, actually looking at your content and digesting your content before even making a sale or entering a form or an inquiry form, which is fantastic, because then you start to understand, well, how long does it take for me to, from the day that I start advertising on social media to the day that I make a sale, how long is that? And traditionally, it's always been around 3 months for people to, I guess, understand a brand and then make a purchase. But there's all shapes and size businesses out there now, different price points. Some could take an entire year. Some could take 2-5 years. We know with Get Fact Up that we've had people listening for over a year before they actually have inquired about our services. So that's just some feedback for you guys. If you're going to start something like Get Fact Up, then plan to be in it for the long term. That's what content marketing talks about.
And that's where you need something like that, because like you said, you got to know the life cycle of your customers, and you also have to know sort of like a relative score. It's like once they get to a certain heat level in terms of a prospect, are they ready to be pitched to?
That's my trick, mate. So I'm always the one losing voice. So it's a fantastic way of understanding your audience better, and it has seeing that it has the CRM associated with it. More people need to have a CRM for their customers, and I just love the fact that you can not just rely on email marketing to be spat out from that. You can SMS people, and for retailers and anybody, I guess, that has a physical location and events that occur at those locations, that's fantastic for, actionable, I guess, ROI, so actionable marketing and actionable tasks that you need people to come and see you in store or visit now or purchase within a time frame. And SMS marketing is obviously a fantastic way to do that, because it's just, emails just get lost into the ether now.
That's right, and because it's not just a mailing list; it's more of like a logical sequence that people go through. You might have them on, say, they receive certain emails, and then there's one important one that you cannot let them miss. They have to do something about it. Maybe 2 days later, if they don't get that, if they haven't opened that email yet, there's something that checks, have they opened that email? No? Send them an SMS reminding them to check that email.
Yeah.
You know, if you have a time-sensitive offer or something like that. So it's extremely powerful. This is how you get the open rates that you typically wouldn't be able to get just with a normal email blasting sort of suite, you know?
So any type of business can and should be using their software. And we've seen many service-based companies use, Infusionsoft, for argument's sake, as their first point of call. The reason why they've been using it is because Infusionsoft is sort of the most popular, lowest price piece of software to come into the market in the very early stages, after Salesforce had already, was at the top end of the market. And yeah, if you're getting all of those follow-up emails, it's highly likely that it's coming from some automated tasks or automated actions. But that's not to say that you can't actually improve on those crappy messages that you may have received from other people. So don't put sales and marketing automation into the box that maybe you've received, the same box that you've been receiving those messages from. So some of them have been really, really poor, follow-up messages and all the rest of it. One of the biggest things that we know that lets sales and marketing automation down is content. And hence why we produce so much content here for our clients. When we plug in a sales and marketing automation campaign, well, the amount of content that you need to produce just skyrockets. So keep that in mind too. It's a fantastic tool. You can take baby steps in getting involved in them, but it's really important to keep the content that you're sending out to people rich and actually helpful and maybe educational. What's the three things that we always say? Inspire, educate, or entertain. And if you can do all three, you're a triple threat. Want to close it off on that?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Good one.
We could probably keep going. But, yeah.
Thanks a lot for watching. It's Me Media's Get Fact Up. We're here every week here in the Me Media studio at Burleigh Heads. And you can subscribe to our emails on memedia.com.au. You can watch all of the previous episodes there. And by all means, come and like us on Facebook and even LinkedIn. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.